What's happening, everyone? This is Rick here from healthybodiesandminds.com. Hope you all are staying healthy and sane. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about vitamin B12 and how it is not essentially making people's lives better. You would be startled to know the facts. So let's jump right in. First of all, what is vitamin B12? Now, that's a very, very popular term, but I'm going to go over a fact sheet from the government website. And here, the highlighted portion tells you that vitamin B12 is a water-soluble vitamin that is naturally present in some foods, added to others, and available as a dietary supplement and a prescription medication. This part is the most important part. Vitamin B12 exists in several forms and contains the mineral cobalt. So compounds with vitamin B12 activity are collectively called cobalamins. There are different sorts of cobalamins, but we are not going to be getting into that. Now, methylcobalamin and 5-deoxyadenosylcobalamin are the forms of vitamin B12 that are active in human metabolism. Now, we don't need to be concerned about these technical terms here, but what I need you to understand is vitamin B12 is kind of a superfood that's supposed to make your body healthy in a lot of different ways. It helps in blood cell formation, it helps in deoxyribonucleic acid synthesis, neurological function, and a whole lot of different things that are going to make your body healthier. The thing is, as many as 50% of all Americans, actually more than 50% of all Americans, consume some sort of supplement or the other to keep themselves healthy, and there is nothing wrong with that. Now, out of that 50%, at least 30% consumes vitamin B12 supplements. And out of that 30% again, 8 to 10% falls in the heptogenarian group, meaning 8 to 10% of people are aged between 65 and 70 or more. And this is where I personally have a problem. I'm going to show you some studies and then I'm going to get to my point. So, the first study that I'm going to be sharing with you is from Cambridge, and here we are talking about aging and the gut. What does the gut have to do with aging? So, instead of having you go through the entire article here, which can be a little bit boring, I'm going to attract your attention to this specific paragraph here and actually a few lines in this paragraph here, and here you can see changes to acid secretion, however, particularly common in relation to aging. What this article suggests is, as you grow old, the level of acids in your stomach start going down. You no longer produce enough acids in your stomach. Now, what does that have to do with vitamin B12? Well, let me first also draw your attention to this guy here, the process of hypochlorhydria, which actually means less acid secretion, can predispose to Fe malabsorption, meaning iron malabsorption, small bowel bacterial growth, and vitamin B12 deficiency. So, if your stomach is not secreting enough acids, then you would have difficulty absorbing iron, and you would also have vitamin B12 deficiency. That's my first point here. Now, I'm going to point you to another of these articles, and then I'm going to make my comment. Here again, we are on the NLM government website, and we are looking at an article from the government website on vitamin B12 absorption and how it works in the body. Here also, I would like to draw your attention to a few lines. In healthy adults, about half of the ingested vitamin B12 present in food is absorbed into the body, but loss of function in any of these organs actually impairs vitamin B12 absorption, potentially leading to vitamin B12 deficiency. What does that mean? Well, in the stomach, secreted gastric acid and pepsin are essential to liberate vitamin B12 from the proteins in food that bind it tightly. Once liberated from food, vitamin B12 is bound in the stomach by R proteins, otherwise known as haptocorins. Now, this is what we call intrinsic factor. Now, here is my personal observation. First of all, pretty much 70% of all people leaving the hospital after some sort of treatment or operation, some sort of a surgery, have vitamin B12 prescriptions. Pretty much everyone gets a vitamin B12 prescription. And everyone above the age of 50 almost always has a vitamin B12 prescription. My point here is, as you grow old, let's say you are in the age group between 50 and 55. In that case, your stomach is not already producing enough acids for vitamin B12 absorption. your secretion is already lower by 30%. Now, when you go to the age of 50, this becomes 80%, meaning you are already secreting 80% less R proteins. So, 80% less chance of your body absorbing vitamin B12. And then when you hit the age of 65, this goes up to 100%, meaning pretty much anyone above the age of 65 would not be able to absorb vitamin B12 at all. The level of acids in the stomach are so low that it would be pretty much impossible for vitamin B12 to get absorbed in the body. And the funny thing is, the health industry knows this. My point here is, why would then 70% of all people who leave hospitals after some sort of a treatment have vitamin B12 prescriptions? And this is especially true for those people who are above the age of 50. So, what it all boils down to is, and this is again my personal opinion, I'm not blaming anyone, but I'm just not happy with the way things are. My personal opinion is, there are companies out there who are manufacturing vitamin B12 supplements by the truckloads, and there is one specific company out there who sells the maximum amount of vitamin B12 not only in the United States but across the entire globe. This company gets to make a lot of profits when you have vitamin B12 prescriptions across the board. It doesn't really matter if the person is able to absorb the vitamin, but pretty much everyone above the age of 50 has a vitamin B12 prescription when he or she leaves the hospital after some sort of a treatment. The industry knows that this vitamin B12 is not going to get absorbed in the body, but they prescribe vitamin B12 nevertheless, and this actually means that one specific company and the entire pharmaceutical industry as a whole gets to make a whole lot of money, and the government also gets a lot of money in the form of taxes. So yes, vitamin B12 actually makes the pharmaceutical industry happy, and it also makes the government happy. But does it really make people above the age of 65 or 70 healthier? No, absolutely not. And this is something that we as responsible citizens should be aware of. It's a pity that no one talks about this. But now that I have, you should consider yourself more informed. And more of this stuff is coming your way, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you again in my next video. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane.